Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. It's 1 o'clock now Eastern time, so we're going to get started. There are still some people joining us, but just wanted to thank you for coming to today's webinar, Club Email Marketing Served Three Ways. Today, the webinar is being hosted by myself, Trevor Kluk. I'm the Senior Marketing Associate at Jonas Club Software and Clubhouse Online. And joining me today is Tim McGurk, the Director of Sales at Jonas Club Software as well as Clubhouse Online. Before we get into the presentation, I just wanted to cover some notes about the webinar to make sure it goes smoothly for everybody. Today's session will be recorded and sent to everybody that's registered. So if for some reason you have to leave early, or maybe there's somebody else at the club that wanted to check it out but wasn't able to attend today, I'll be sending out that link to you hopefully either at the end of today or on Monday, and you'll be able to share that. You'll notice that everybody is on mute. And if you do have a question, please submit that through the Q&A box in the GoToWebinar interface. We'll be monitoring that throughout the session, and we're going to hopefully have some time at the end to answer some of your questions. And we're also going to be conducting some polls during today's session. And I just wanted to show you what one of those looks like. So what's going to happen is it might minimize your GoToWebinar window and the poll will pop up. Once the poll is submitted and then I close the poll, you will return back to the GoToWebinar presentation. So just please don't X out of GoToWebinar when that poll comes up. Otherwise, you'll have to rejoin the session. I'd like to just give you guys a quick overview of Jonas Club Software, the company as a whole. Our company is actually made up of 13 different brands, and those can be divided up into three main categories. So we have our club management technology, which is these green brands here. We have our online or website technologies, which are these red ones. And then we have some value-added technologies. And these are in the green, and they include Member Insight, which is a member surveying tool, as well as Metrics First, which is a business analytics platform that provides you key performance indicators on your club data, as well as a Club Pay, which is a outsourced payroll provider. Now, if you take all of these 13 brands and you count up the number of installations for each of those, we have about 5,000 total around the world. And that is comprised of about 250 employees across 6 different offices. And what really makes this great is that with all those different brands, we're able to provide technology to any part of your club business. So whether your club might be a fitness facility or it has tennis courts, maybe it has a marina, we have technology that can probably help you achieve your goals. And this is a great illustration of that. On top of that, we obviously have our member-facing solutions. So that would be our websites, our mobile app, as well as what we're going to talk to you about today, which is email marketing. And that's why you guys joined us. Now, today's session is not a how to use the email marketing systems that we provide. It's more just to give you some different tips and strategies that you could take and use in any email marketing platform. There are a lot of different kind of tips that I could share with you today, but I'm going to maybe focus on 3. And some of them will actually be easier to implement if you have an integrated system with your club membership database, and I'll kind of explain that when I get there. But with a little bit of work, you can implement any of the ideas we're going to discuss today in any email marketing platform. Now, just to give you a little story, at Jonas Club Software, since I've been a member of the marketing team, we've actually not had an integrated email marketing system. So that means anytime I need to send out an email to you guys to maybe give you an update on a specific application, I have to go into our client database, pull the list, and then in Excel, do some manual sorting, find out all the people that I need to send the email to, export that, and then upload it to our email marketing system and build a list off of that. This is very time consuming, and it also can lead to a chance for error. So luckily, later this year, we're moving to an integrated system, and I can't wait because it's going to be a huge time saver. So let's dig into what you guys came to for today. So today's menu is going to be a 3-course meal. We're going to start with an appetizer of new member onboarding and how you can use email marketing to your advantage. Then we'll take a look at some segmentation and automation. And then everybody is probably going to be looking forward to this one the most because dessert is usually the most fun. We'll take a look at a couple of fun ideas to maybe help you increase your email open rates. And then, like I said, we'll save some time at the end, hopefully to answer those questions that you have. If we don't get to them, we'll try our best and we'll reach out to you individually. Okay, so starting with our new member onboarding. Like most businesses and workplaces, I'm sure your club has some type of new member orientation. This is a picture of the university orientation week at Queen's University, kind of a crazy time by the looks of it. Probably a little bit more subdued at your club. But what I would suggest is using email marketing to onboard your members. And the easiest way to do that is to have your key club staff or maybe the club president send out a email to that new member as soon as they convert from a prospect to a full member. And it doesn't have to be all of these people. If your club is a city club and you're really well known for the great food that you provide, maybe it would be in your best interest to have your chef reach out to that new member. And it would also be same if you're a tennis club, maybe have the head tennis professional send them a welcome message. It doesn't have to be all 5. It can be 1, 3, or all. It just depends on your needs. But what's makes this a little bit more effective and easy is to create it in an automated way. So I don't recommend that your chef writes out an email each time someone joins. That's going to probably be too time consuming, as well as they might forget, it gets lost in the shuffle. So I would set up a workflow so that when a new member is created and is added to your email marketing database list, that will automatically send them out these welcome messages. The other great thing about this is that as you're sending these out, you can always go in and check to see if your new member has opened the email, maybe clicked on some of the important links that you've provided. And if they haven't, that's when you could maybe take the time to follow up personally and say, hey, we haven't seen you have filled out that form that we sent. Did you get it? Is everything okay? I'm just going to show you some examples now of what those emails could look like and some of the key pieces that you might want to include. So this is one of the first emails, and I have sent it on behalf of the club president, Raymond Sinclair. You'll notice here that it's just a pretty straightforward welcome message. I've personalized the email. Again, because this is going to be something that's written once and sent to every new member, you want to use a personalization token that pulls in the member's first name. And I'm going to show you a little later about where that gets pulled in from. I've also just outlined some of the other communication that they will be receiving as a part of the onboarding process. So maybe some club policies, procedures, a note from the golf professional is to come next. Also, just for fun, I added maybe a free drink coupon on behalf of the board of directors because you want to make that new member feel special. This email is coming from the club president. And I also added a picture of Raymond because in the body here, I told the new member to, if you see me around the club, come introduce yourself and say hello. Well, most members aren't going to recognize everybody at the club yet. So it's really important to add photos of key staff and whoever is sending the email. The second email in my workflow chain would be from the club professional. And you'll notice here that he is asking the new member to come into the pro shop because he needs to receive some key information from the pro: bag tag information, maybe bag storage number. Now, what you could do, which would be a little bit more advanced, but not that difficult to set up, is actually include some of that information directly in the body of this email through your membership database. So like you personalize their name, you could also put the personalized bag tag number in here or the bag storage number. I also just added a take a 10% off the first time you purchase something at the pro shop, just to incentivize them to possibly come in. And lastly, an email from the membership director who probably has been in constant contact with the person who has just become a new member, but I've added a few things in here that could be useful to the onboarding process. One is a link over to the club policies. You probably have provided these to your members in a hard copy, but it's nice to have that soft copy as a reference. If they've got it, they can save this link, or they can just keep this email, as well as I've included another personalization token here about your member number. Again, you probably have given this to them in a soft copy, but if this member number is something that they're going to use that first time they go and order food at the restaurant, it's nice to just have that digital version that they can reference on their phone. I've also included a link to a calendar booking. So if this person has just joined and maybe they need to do a website orientation, they can book a time with the membership director to come in and meet for 15 or 30 minutes to then go over how to use the website and log in for the first time. So those three emails, again, would be set up once and then be put into a workflow. And a workflow is just a way to pre-schedule emails that get sent to anyone who meets the certain criteria that you've outlined. So you'll see here, this is a very basic workflow in one of our email marketing platforms called Frank Email. I've set here the audience that it's going to go to. So this is the list. And basically this list is anyone that's been added to the new signups for member onboarding. You can set up different rules to determine what that audience would be. It's pretty straightforward. And then the trigger is going to be when this email starts to get sent. And in this case, as soon as they sign up to receive emails, so basically in an integrated system, as soon as they get added to the email marketing platform, they will be sent this first email. This was the one from our club president. Then 2 days later, we're going to send the one from our head professional. And then 1 day later, we're going to send one from the membership director. You can set these up in the order or the timing that you wish, but it's just nice that this is going to run automatically for you in the background. Okay, so this is going to bring us to our first poll, and it should pop up in your screen very shortly here. And I'm just asking everyone if you could please answer. How many of you are currently sending out onboarding emails via your email marketing platform in an automated way? I'll give you another 5 seconds to answer. Lots of responses coming in. This is great. All right, I'm going to stop it there. So the answers came back with a 37% yes and 55% no and an 8% not sure. So that's great. I mean, the 40% of you that are doing it, that's pat on the back and keep doing it. Always be checking those emails to see if there's anything that needs to be updated year over year. For those of you who aren't, that's something that you can really try to implement in an easy way. Start with one email and build it out from there. And if you need help with setting that up, our support team knows that I'm covering that today, and they'll be able to show you how to do so. All right, so now we're going to move into our main course section. This is more about keeping your members engaged in the emails that you're sending. So there's a lot of emails coming into everyone's inbox on a regular basis. I'm sure you're getting anywhere from 20 to 30 a day. And we want to make sure that our members are getting the emails that they want and the ones that they're actually going to open. So I've been referring to this membership database throughout the presentation so far. And this is basically how we're going to do something to make sure we're going to get the right emails into our members' inbox. So you'll see here, this is a bunch of data that is collected on each member. And most club management systems give you the ability to store a certain number of set fields as well as some customizable fields. Those fields can then be included in your upload to your email marketing, whether through its integration or when you're exporting an Excel sheet, a CSV, and uploading that. So this information is going to be used to do something which I think everybody needs to be doing. And the reason is that not all members at your club need to be receiving every email that you sent out. If you send them everything, chances are they're getting stuff they don't require, which causes email fatigue, which is going to lower your open rate. And chances are people are going to start to miss information that they should be seeing. So how do we make sure that they're getting the right emails? Well, we're going to use segmentation. That's just a fancy word for dividing your email list of members into some smaller groups. And those smaller groups are based on that data found in the membership database. I've just kind of given a couple of examples here, which I call static and dynamic, but static are the kind of things that don't change over time very much. It's going to be your member's gender, member type. I know that that one can change, but it would probably be once a year or at most. Their age, possibly, even something like their shirt size can be an effective way to segment. And I'll show you a cool example of that in a minute. And then there's the dynamic fields within your database. That would include things like their members' AR balance, maybe the date of their last visit, or even something like how much they spent on food and beverage purchases in the last month. All the different custom fields that you tracked could be included, and those dynamic ones are as well. I think the best way to explain or kind of show how you should be using segments is with a couple examples. So if you're a golf club and you're about to send out an email campaign promoting your women's member guest tournament, there's a few different ways that you could possibly send this out. The simplest would be to segment your list to target the specific members that you believe are going to actually sign up. And that would include, I'm guessing, women, and then have a member type of golf. Now that said, maybe you have a limited field. You can only accept 30 members in the tournament. Well, you might want to segment this to only the ladies who played in the last member guest first, kind of give them the first option. That could be something that is pulled in from the membership database. You don't want to be sending this to your non-golf male members because they'll have no use for it. Similarly, this one is a little bit more applicable to, I guess, a wider range of people, but you can make it really specific. If your club has a pro shop, maybe tennis or golf, and you have a lot of extra inventory at the end of the year and you want to maybe move that inventory out, you're going to send out an email campaign promoting this sale. But let's say you have specifically a whole lot of men's polos left, and you really want to make sure you get those out because you've got a new shipment coming in the new year. What I would recommend is you build the segment that would look something like this. You're going to email it to men only, and you happen to have a lot of size XL, so you're going to maybe sort by men members who have a size XL shirt, and you could even go one step further and send it to anybody who has pro shop credit over $100. I know that a lot of clubs provide pro shop credit as prizes at men's or ladies golf tournaments, or the weekly golf night. So if somebody has a lot of club credit that they need to get rid of by the end of the year or they'll lose, this would be a perfect opportunity to promote the sale to them directly. The other great thing is you don't have to worry about your members seeing that they're on the XL shirt segment. Your members don't know what segments you're creating to send them these targeted emails. Now, these are kind of some golf-centric examples, but I know that Tim has worked with a lot of clubs around the US, Canada, and he's seen a lot of really creative examples of other ways that people have segmented to target emails. Tim, do you want to share any of some that I haven't really covered yet?
Yeah, thanks, Trevor. I think, one thing that always resonates with me as it pertains to email marketing is something I heard in an industry conference probably about 10 or 12 years ago. And the tagline was brand your club, don't blast your members. And I think that's what we're referring to here with respect to segmentation. Whether you know it or not, there's a lot of data that you're storing. Obviously, clubs know that they're storing custom information, demographic information, that kind of thing. But just by default, clubs don't realize that day in and day out, members are coming in and buying things. So they've got all that transactional data to utilize as well and to leverage, kind of when reaching out to their members. So when I talk to clubs about, email marketing and segmentation and those kind of things, and I think we do it as a company in total, it's just to get creative. Each club knows their members better, but reaching them with that consistent, relevant message, as opposed to just blasting emails out blindly to the members, is really what gets members to come in and act on those emails. For instance, if you're doing a wine tasting, only send that out to those that it pertain to. So send it out to those that are over 21 years of age that perhaps have some wine transactions, or perhaps you're storing a custom field that they like a Cabernet, or they like whatever it is. So it's really, Trevor, I think, more about getting creative and kind of thinking backwards of, here's my end goal. What do I need to do to get to that end goal? Who am I trying to target? What are their likes and dislikes? Or forget dislikes, what are their likes? And then think of the data that we're storing. Again, whether it be that, kind of custom static data, or whether it be dynamic kind of transactional data. That's something that we work with clubs constantly on. But again, I think the overarching message, Trev, is brand your club, don't blast your members.
Right. And I think the key too is just to experiment and try, because not everybody is going to know what works until you've actually done it a couple of times and see how it goes. So that kind of leads me into my next poll question, which you should see popping up on your screen right now, is does your club currently segment its lists, and is it doing so based on the membership data file information that you have? So just getting some responses coming in here. Give you 5 more seconds. All right, I'm going to close that off. All right, so that's interesting. That's about a 50-50 split, 52% yes and a 48% no. So again, very simple to start these segments, especially a little bit easier when you're using an integrated platform. The segments that I have to create for Jonas Club software would be much easier to maintain if I had my integrated system, which we'll hopefully get to take advantage of in the future. And I highly recommend that you guys look into that too. All right, now the other half of this kind of main course section is on automation. And this is where I really think that this can help your staff, your admin staff, who have to do a lot of the kind of ongoing recurring emails. These aren't really marketing in the sense that they're not fun and driving sales. This is probably more about you guys actually collecting your members' dues and monthly statements, balances, and whatnot. So automation is about saving you time. This infomercial, with the great tagline, set it and forget it. You put that chicken in that roaster and it's 2 hours later coming out as good as it is at the restaurant. These emails are the type that you have to do on a monthly or annual basis that you can just set up once and then have your members receive them regularly because they have to. Again, we're going to pull on data from the membership database, and I've just highlighted a few here that you'll probably make the most use of when you're setting up automated style emails. And that would be your current balance in AR, your 31 to 60 day balance in AR, or your 61 to 90 day balance in AR. And these fields are specifically going to help you set up your monthly statement notifications or your overdue balance notifications. Minimum spend balance could also be added into that. You know, some clubs have that on a quarterly basis. And then annual dues notifications, if that's an annual notification that you need to send out. Again, you can set those up so that the person, your member, just receives the notification that those are due and that they need to potentially go on to the online statement section of your club website to pay those off. Or what's even really cool about it is, remember I showed you those personalization tokens? You can actually display the balance owing in the email itself. So if your monthly statement goes out, notification goes out, not only can it say your statement is available, but you can also say this is how much you owe, this is how much is outstanding from last month, etc. And some more fun kind of way to use this automation would be for birthday message or a membership anniversary. You know, everybody at the club receives a free drink in the dining room for their birthday. Well, if it's an automated email, you're not gonna forget about it. So the other cool thing that you could do is when these emails go out, you could have it set up so that somebody else at the club gets notified, especially for the birthday one. You know, if the birthday email goes out to somebody, that email could also get sent to the food and beverage manager just so that they're aware that Mr. Smith might be coming in to receive their free birthday drink. All right, so one more poll here. I just want to find out how many of you are sending automated emails for monthly statements, or maybe for birthdays or some other fun creative way. It should be up on your screen right now. This is something that we've, I know, had in our email marketing platforms for a while. So there could be a lot of you that are already doing this. Just gonna give you 5 more seconds there to check. And I'm gonna close that off now. All right, this one, it surprised me a little bit. We've got about a 40% yes and a 60% no. So those people who aren't sending out automated emails, maybe you're sending out monthly statements on a recurring basis manually. Each month you're going in, you're sending out the email to those members that their statement's available. And it's one of those things that you could take off your list, save some time. It does take a little work to set it up, you know, maybe an hour and a half to set up at most if you have to call support. But we do have some really great documentation on how you can do that. And it's very step by step, including, like I said, if you wanted to add in balance numbers or actual personalized numbers within the body of the email. So a really effective way to automate some recurring type messages. Okay, now we'll move to the more fun part of the day, and that is keeping your members engaged and making sure that you're providing some content that's going to whet their appetite. What I like is when members get involved in email marketing. So if you're sending out a weekly newsletter of updates, which I think most clubs that I've seen do, what I would like to recommend is that you ask your members to maybe generate some of that content for you. And there's a really cool example that I've found, and I've used this in a few presentations in the past, by the Country Club of Virginia. What they did is they set out and asked their members to take photos of themselves wearing the club branded apparel when they went on vacation. And they called this like the far and away contest. And so members would submit the photos of themselves in whole bunch of different places. And then each week, one of those members' photos would be featured in the weekly newsletter. And then over time, one of those was chosen as the winner. Maybe it was for the farthest away from the club, or the coolest location or whatnot. Maybe a little bit hard to do the far and away contest right now, but think of the different ways that you could maybe get your members to submit photos that could be featured in your weekly newsletter. Another kind of way to do this would be to ask your members to generate some, more text-based answers. And both of these examples are really great because people like to see what other members have to say, but let's be honest, chances are they want to see themselves featured. And you can collect this kind of information a few different ways. So if it's a photo contest, maybe you could ask them to submit the photos directly to you, or you could ask them to use a club hashtag on Instagram, and then you could go and search that hashtag, pick one image to feature each week. Or you could send out a survey to your members and ask them to answer some pretty fun questions. I've seen this done at a few different jobs that I've worked at, and it's always a really great thing to look forward to when that week's answers come out because you don't know who it's going to be. So this is basically like a member spotlight that you could feature in your newsletter. Very simple questions, nothing too intrusive, but it gives your members a chance to share a little bit about themselves and maybe read about some other members that they don't really know or haven't met yet. And it's a kind of way to foster community inside of that email newsletter. Really great for a lot of clubs that have down season. Maybe that's in the winter in the north or maybe in the summer in the south. If you keep this running throughout the off season, it keeps people feeling connected. All right, so for the time we had today, those were kind of three pieces of a way you can use your email marketing to onboard your new members, create some segmentation so that your members are getting the right emails that they should be, maybe saving yourself a bit of time in the long run by automating some of those messages, as well as a few creative and fun ideas to maybe increase the likelihood that they're opening your weekly newsletter. Now, if you don't have one of our email marketing platforms, but you want to, learn more about that, you can always reach out to Tim or I. And if you do have one of our email marketing platforms and one of these ideas is something that you'd like to implement, our support team is well aware that I'm holding this seminar today. The team lead, Jerome, and I took a look at some of the documentation to make sure that everything was ready if we needed to send any of that out. So please reach out to us and we will share the kind of step-by-step how-tos to do some of these things. So I've got one final poll question and then we'll open it up to some questions. So you should be seeing on your screen right now if there was one idea from today's presentation that you think you could take away from today's seminar and possibly try to implement that at your club. So I'll give you, 5-10 seconds to answer, and then we'll close that out and we'll open things up to some of your questions. All right, I'm just going to close that off. And Tim, I think you have been kindly monitoring some of the questions that have been coming in. So if there's anything else that you've noticed that I can maybe address or you can address, anything that you want to start with?
Yeah, so I've been answering a few of the personalized ones, like connection issues and that kind of thing as we went.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of questions that I've left off of there to address with the whole crew. So the number one question that we've gotten so far is, are you going to be sending out a recording of this webinar?
Yes, we will definitely be sending out a recording.
And obviously the answer is yes.
Yep.
Yep, so that was the number one question far and away. Another question that we got, are these onboarding email programs included in every club who uses club broadcast or is there any additional cost? And I can take that one, Trevor.
Yep.
All of our email marketing platforms handle the workflows and the onboarding stuff that Trevor was talking about earlier. There's no additional cost, but if you have questions, as Trevor just mentioned, certainly reach out to our support team and they can point you in the right direction. And as well, Trevor, if you don't mind, when you log into the Clubhouse Online website, your Clubhouse Online website, in the top right-hand corner, there's an orange button that says E3 Help.
Yep.
Within that E3 Help area, there's some great tutorials. We've got a pretty vast video library of how-tos and tips and tricks and those kind of things. So I would highly recommend. It's broken out between Clubhouse Online as well as the email marketing platforms. So I would highly recommend taking a look at that.
For sure. And I know that the support team has just recently been doing a lot of kind of rewriting of some of that documentation to make it even better.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love info on the prospect set it and forget it steps. Again, that came from Kristen. Kristen, our E3 help area is great, as well as our support team. More than happy to walk you through those processes. Where in email marketing is the onboarding program located, Trevor?
So the onboarding program isn't necessarily something that's pre-set up. There are some welcome style templates that are available in there. But if you wanted to create the actual kind of workflow or the automation, it's within either, it'll be called workflow or automation, depending on which platform you have. And it's not exactly templated, but you can set it up in different ways, because I know that some clubs have prospects that are in their email marketing system. So maybe they want to set it up so that when a prospect gets changed to a member, so that's when the actual member type field makes a change, then they receive that first onboarding email. So depending on your current setup, it would probably be best to work with the support team to set it up so that it doesn't send out the emails to everyone. You want to make sure that you're only onboarding your new members. I just see another one coming in from Amy. Will you be sending out a hard copy as well as the audio? So I will be sending out a video link so this can be reviewed. I can also include a link to a PDF version of the presentation deck if that will be beneficial to everyone.
And Trevor, just to confirm, because we've gotten this question a few times, you're going to be emailing this stuff out to the links, that is, to all attendees.
Yeah,
email.
just so that everyone kind of understands, the video takes a little bit while to convert because it is such a long session. The video file is pretty big. So if the video isn't ready by the end of today, you'll definitely have it first thing on Monday morning in an email link.
Okay. Are you guys planning on producing more in-depth training sessions or materials for workflows and/or email marketing? So Corey, we do offer webinars, and as well we offer quite a few videos. Again, I would reference that E3 help area. Again, in order to access that, you'll log into Club Central or log in as an administrator into your Clubhouse Online website. In the top right-hand corner, you'll take a look for an orange E3 help button, and by clicking on that, it'll launch you into our help section, which has all the videos, webinar signups, and that kind of thing. Corey, I just saw your last note. We can work with you we also have one-on-one training options available as well. Feel free to reach out to Trevor and I after this, and we can get you in the right hands for training on one-on-one on that. See if there's any. Trevor, real quick, Sylvia, I just saw your note. I'm not sure if my club has the email marketing platform. Email me when we're done, or email me when you get a minute, and I can, once you give me the name of your club, I can take a look for you. Luana, we can certainly take that into consideration. Trevor, the question was, can we do something similar with respect to the mobile app?
Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. Yeah, some of the ways that you can use the mobile app to get people coming to it more often, and maybe some push notification ideas as well.
Yeah, we'll take that into consideration for sure.
I'm seeing a few questions, Tim, about also like more specific training for setting up workflows. So that's something that we should maybe speak to the support team, and maybe we could put something together for another session down the road.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm making some notes of these.
All right. If we didn't get to your question today, or if you have any other questions, please reach out to myself or Tim. My email will be obviously the one that you can reach out to on in response to the link being sent out. But Tim's also available for us. So we'll definitely try our best to answer those questions. And if we can't, we'll find the right people who can. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time to join us today. I'm happy to see that we had about 98% of you thought that there's one idea that you could take away from today's session and hopefully try to use. And with that, I want to wish everybody a really great weekend. Thanks for joining, and we'll definitely hope to have some more of these types of sessions in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.